Hi there. My name is Caroline Mutoko and I'm back at the Kenya Bureau of Standards. It looks like you and I are going to be learning a lot from this place in the coming weeks and months. I'm returning for a very important conversation. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Henry Rotich. Now, he is the Director of Metrology, the Science of Measurement and Testing at KEBS, but he is also the current President and Chairman of AFRIMETS. So what I want to do first is ask you to tell us what AFRIMETS is, because to be honest, until 2 weeks ago, I had no idea.
Thank you, Carol. Metrology is the science of measurements.
That I learned from all of you.
Yes.
Yes.
So in the metrology world, we are organized in this way. We have the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, which is the apex body that governs metrology worldwide.
Okay.
So to improve the delivery of services, we have the Regional Metrology Organizations.
Okay.
So we have one for Americas. We have one for Europe, which we call it Euramet. The Americas, we call it SIM. We have one for Asia, we call it APMP.
Okay.
We have one for the Russia, we call it KUMET. We also have one for the Middle East, KAFMET. Then for Africa, we have the AFRIMETS, which is the Intra-Africa Metrology Organization.
Okay.
So it is this is the Regional Metrology Organization for Africa, which helps in coordinating metrology activities in Africa.
How many members?
We have 48 members, and then we also have some associates, and also we have some what we call the liaison institutions. So those are other regional metrology organizations, and our partners like PTB. We also have other national metrology institutes who also want to work with us.
So for the layperson who's saying that's nice, but what is your importance? Because it's always important that when a body is formed, people ask, wanafanyanga?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think the importance of the Regional Metrology Organization is to bring together the member countries.
Yes.
And facilitate the intercomparison of measurements, and also establish traceability of the measurements that are being done in this region and compared with the international organizations, and also link it up to the SI unit at the meter convention.
Okay.
So we are, in Africa, we have the full members, so where we have Kenya, we have Egypt, we have South Africa, we have Morocco, we have Tunisia. Those are the 5 countries who are the full members of the meter convention. Then we have a number of other associates, like Zimbabwe is an associate, Tanzania is an associate. So these countries, they participate in activities of the meter convention. One of them is intercomparisons, where we compare our measurements with the other national metrology institutes. This way, it creates what we call confidence, because if I do measurements with you, you can see how I perform. We can always discuss and improve.
And trust.
Yes, and then we improve the confidence in those measurements.
So I understand from the 29th of July all the way to the 2nd of August?
Yes.
You've got what you call the General Assembly and related technical meetings. It's a meeting, so actually those technical meetings is what you're telling me about, instilling confidence and trusting that what they do, we do. When we receive a measurement from that other country, tunaweza kusema, we know what they do and how they do it.
Yes.
These technical meetings, I mean, we will not be privy. So give us a little, taste of what it is that happens.
I'm sure when you're in secondary school, you learned about the SI units.
Yes.
We have the mass, where we have the kilogram. Grams,
yes.
We have the Kelvin for temperature. We have the candela for light. We also have the second for time. So all these are the SI units. So in metrology, we organize our technical committees along those SI units.
Oh,
yes.
So people of light meet.
Yes, so get people who are involved in length. They will be having a meeting to discuss the technical issues, and also plan for comparisons of their measurements, and also plan for the what we call calibration and measurement capabilities.
All right.
Because once you have developed your capability and you participate in the key comparisons with other national metrology institutes, and your measurements are good, then you can file these measurements in International Bureau of Weights and Measures key comparison database. And this is accessible. People can see all over the world. If I want to do business in Kenya, I can see the capability of Kenya in that database.
Okay, so once that is done, and I'm liking this, there's actually technical meetings, and the people in that discipline meet.
They meet,
so at some point, will you be showing off your labs here? Will they be visiting?
Yes. I mean, the event is not complete before people can come and see our labs here. So actually the last, on Thursday, we have a tour of our labs.
Yes.
And so we welcome those who will be attending to come and see our labs. Also, those experts who will be here will also look at our labs, and also they can give us ideas on areas of improvement, or they can also get ideas on how they can also improve the areas. And remember, in metrology, the main goal is to build the confidence and also to make sure that the measurements we are doing are comparable. So these technical people, when they come, they can actually look at the equipment we are using. They can also advise us on the areas we need to improve. They can also get some advice from us on areas they can improve, so that we build that confidence.
Okay.
Because the desire is, we say, once tested, acceptable everywhere.
Whoa.
Because if I trust your measurements
and
I see your certificate, I don't need to do again. And this way it will cut the cost of doing business.
Very true.
For our communities, our industries, and our exporters. Because once we have that certificate that we've issued, then the others recognize that certificate and they accept without retesting or need for calibration.
That's very true. I would like to say to the AFRIMETS delegates, welcome, and please do see our dosimetry lab, because it is state of the art. It really is. It really is. And it's one of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, it's one of the few.
Yes.
We've actually finished with the installation. We've done comparisons. Because in metrology, you can never offer a service before you look at how your measurement performs by comparing with others.
Against another.
Yes. So we've just completed the intercomparison with IEA, that's International Energy Atomic Agency, and our results are very good. So now we are rolling out the measurements.
Fantastic.
Across within the country and also in the region.
I want to know how long, 17 years maybe, AFRIMETS has been in existence?
Yes.
Okay, as chair, this is where I'm giving you a chance to toot your own horn. What have been your achievements? One or two achievements?
So one of the key achievements that we've made in AFRIMETS is to improve metrology within the continent.
Okay.
Remember, in the year 2007, there were very few members. Actually, it was only South Africa and Egypt who were the full members of the META Convention. By then, Kenya was an associate. But we've grown. We became the full member in 2010. And between now and that time and now, as I mentioned, we now have 5 full members of the META Convention.
Yes.
Who can vote, and also they can actually file CMCs. We've also had a big number of countries who are now associate members.
Yes.
So the metrology infrastructure in Africa is growing. We've also been able to participate in a number of training capacity initiatives to build capacity. At the BIBM, we've had what we call capacity building for developing economies. A number of countries, they've sent their metrologists to go and train at the BIBM. And also in Turkey, we've had also in Korea, some in US. So we've really had a lot of growth in terms of capacity building for metrology in Africa.
Okay.
As a continent, AFRIMETS also, working with the AU, we have the PACI, which is the Pan-African Quality Infrastructure Institutes, the PACI. And I'm the incoming chair of PACI. So we've been able to position metrology in Africa as one of the key quality infrastructure arms of the continent to promote metrology.
Okay.
So I think this is very, very good, because now AU has taken metrology as a key deliverable or a key instrument of development in the continent.
And I actually like that.
Yes.
But I am a novice to this, you can imagine. I mean, the first time I was here, maybe 3 months ago, I remember the first time I was told, metrology. I had to look it up, and I was like, the science of measurement. And from that moment, I was sold. However, as a current president and chair, what is your key message, not just to your delegates, okay, this year, but also to the rest of us, because, you know, we are sitting on a digital platform and it is here for posterity.
Yes.
What would you like to leave us with as we look forward not only to this conference in the next taking place over 5 days, but going forward?
Measurements is key. We do measurements on daily basis and every second.
Yes.
As we are sitting here, the chair I'm sitting on, a lot of measurements was done to show that it can support my weight. The lights that we are using here,
yes,
there are a lot of measurements to make sure that we get quality
pictures.
Yes. Also, even the contact lenses that our children are using, a lot of measurements. So if those measurements are not correct, you can imagine the kind of challenges you can have.
Yes.
If you're going to the hospital to get X-ray or for a CT scan, and if those doses are not correct,
yes,
you will have injuries or you have misdiagnosis.
Yes.
So it's very important that we always insist on accurate measurements. We invest in metrology wherever you are.
Yes.
If you are in a manufacturing industry, use calibration services. If you are in service industry, also check and insist that those providing you services can demonstrate traceability of the measurements they're using as they engage with you.
Because only then can we trust the results we're given.
Yes.
Yes.
And that way we make our country also competitive, because we are exporting and you are really using the services of measurements, and that your measurements are traceable, then people will have confidence in what you do.
Okay.
I remember many years we used to say, if it's made in Germany, it's good. Why? Because there's a lot of measurements there.
I never thought about it like that.
Made in Japan. People are having confidence because they know it's reliable. Why is it reliable? Because measurements are applied. So I also hope that very soon, made in Kenya will just be acceptable everywhere.
Everywhere, because it's a standard you can trust.
Yes.
Okay.
We also have the AFCFTA, which African countries have agreed to trade with each other.
Okay.
And this can only be successful if we implementing metrology.
Yes.
We're having acceptance of the measurements so that it's easy to move within the continent.
True.
Yeah, so metrology is a driver of the continent.
And development.
Yes.
And development.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Rotich. And let me wish you the very best as you host these delegates from 48 countries over the next 1 week. And I'm hoping they will leave here empowered and excited.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I would also like to extend my invitation that you can also come and engage and also learn more about what AFRIMETS does and metrology.
I'll take you up on that.
Thank you.
All right.